Hey there. Hello, how do you do? My name is Harry Wetzel. Thanks for coming. It's the 80s, darling. Yes, it is. March 1983. It's Tuesday, March the 15th, 1983. Beware the Ides of March. Yes. Any Romans out there meandering about? Beware. Didn't work out for me. No. My sweetheart broke up with me. On a subway ride home, she gave me a bear hug. Then she slipped something into my pocket. And then the doors opened. She stepped off. She gave me one last exquisite kiss. The door shut, and we waved to each other as the subway pulled out of the station and into the tunnel. And I'm like, what did she put in my pocket? And so I reach into my pocket and I pull out a copy of Frankenstein by Mary Wollstonecraft Shelley. This very copy. So I go over and I sit down. I look in to see if she wrote anything, and there's an inscription. And she didn't. Oh. So I look in the back. Oh, upside down, inside the back cover, she wrote a little inscription. It says, Harry, maybe someday we'll both know. Maybe. Someday. I still don't know how. I don't. But at least my heart isn't broken. I wasn't in love with her. We weren't in love with each other. We weren't. We weren't. I mean, I was very much infatuated. I thought she was too. But I seem to have dodged that particular bullet. Now, twice in New York. But it is heartache. It wasn't heartbreak, but it was still heartache. And loneliness. And there's nothing like the cold steel of big city loneliness. It pierces your heart and freezes your blood. I just hope that this little bout of depression doesn't turn into something bigger than it is. As I sit in my room, alone in my room, 600 miles from everything that I remember and just about everything that you know and just about everyone that you love is 600 miles away, and you sit here in your lonely room ruminating on that. So what am I going to do? All right. Hope for the best, expect the worst, and go back to work, which is what I do. And I'm full on depressed because this has snowballed. And when you're sad to begin with, and if you have a series of bad days, one day after the other, it does become a full blown depression. And it follows me wherever I go. And you're like, what is this thing called depression? I mean, I've had it much of my story, much of my life, ever since I was a little kid. I was a sad kid. I mean, not all the time, but I was a sad kid. I mean, for whatever combination of reasons, among them, the main ones being that I was abused and humiliated and beaten by my despicable elder male sibling, and how later on, when I was 9 years old, I was repeatedly sexually molested by his best friend. Yeah. Me too. Yes. So it took a heavy toll on my spirit, my innocence being torn away from me before I was 10 years old. So I started to eat. I became a fat, depressed little kid. Then I became a fat, depressed adolescent. Then I lost a little bit of weight and I became a depressed teenager. Now here it is in New York, and I'm still sad. This depression begins to take over, and it's everywhere you look. And you begin to cater to it. You begin to nurture it. When it's the voice that you hear, your depression, your loneliness, your misery, your fear, and your anxiety. They're not all the exact same demon, but they are kindred spirits. And you cater to them. You wind up letting them do whatever they want. Your loneliness walks right into the room and sits down right next to you. Your misery walks into the room and sits down in the same chair. It slips down behind you and wraps its arms around you like a mutually beloved sweetheart. They're that familiar with you. Well, you cater to them, you nurture them. I wound up worshiping my misery. And that's what it was, misery worship. Wherever I go, it's what I think about. Every time I think, oh, I am so miserable, I'm worshiping it and reinforcing it as true. So you hope for the best, expect the worst, and go back to work. And I do. I'm working as a wine cellar. I came to New York to be an actor. I'm a wine cellar. What am I doing here? And so you let that be on top of that depression. And it goes around and around and around into concentric circles all the way down into the inferno. So that's how I'm walking around, sad. Well, here's the thing. It's not what you believe. It's not what you know. It's who you know. Yes. And I know somebody. I've got my brilliant friend, Suzanne, from Detroit, from the University of Detroit. Once roommate, is directing a show out of town. And she wants to give me a job in that show. She says, all you have to do is pass the audition with the producer of the show who's coming into town from Terre Haute, Indiana, for a season of summer stock in Terre Haute. And Suzanne said, I'll give you your job in this show. All you have to do is pass the audition for these other shows. And just don't do anything too weird. Well, I don't know how tall an order that is, but whether or not it is, we'll tell you about it next time, whether or not I was too weird. In the meantime, thank you for watching. I love doing this. I love telling you my stories. But you've got to share this out. We need to build an empire together, and I need your help. Yeah. We can do it together. It's so exciting. I look so forward to talking to you next time. All right.